Hello, students. My name again is Stephanie Lawrence, and I'm a part of the Career Services team here at Community Care College. And as your guest speaker this week, I'm going to be talking about professionalism in the workplace. So, what is professionalism? Professionalism is the competence or skill expected of a professional. It's a specific style of behavior in the workplace. It's exhibited in our behavior. It's our individual responsibility. Professionalism is approachable, trustworthy, supportive, respectful, and accountable. Your career service team has reached out to a number of different employers who have hired our students and hired our graduates, and we asked them, what are some things that you look for in candidates during the interview process and your own employees? And so we've come up with this large list that we want to share with you that we feel would be very beneficial for you to know at the very beginning of your program. That way you have time to work on this and to build it up. So the number one thing we heard from every employer that we talked to, we heard always be on time. It is so important to be on time. It's respectful. It shows that you respect the employer. Always be on time. But we need to kind of break that down a little bit and figure out what does it mean to always be on time. I know with my past experiences, being on time does not mean running through the front door at 8 o'clock if that's what time I'm supposed to be there that day. What being on time means is being at my desk, being ready to go, being organized, my computer's on, my to-do list is in front of me, and I'm ready to go at 8 o'clock. So maybe that means I need to arrive to my office 10 minutes before my scheduled time so that way I can be prepared at 8 o'clock. Whatever it means for the employer, that's what you need to adjust to. So you need to make sure that you're always on time. Being punctual strengthens and reveals your integrity. It shows your dependability. It builds your self confidence. It assures that you are the best. It reveals your discipline and it shows respect for others, like I already mentioned. So you need to make sure that this is something that you're recognizing if it's an issue for you that you start working on right now as a student, because those little habits that you start as a student will most definitely transition into the workforce. So make sure that we work on these things right now. Just make sure that we're a great employee in the future. The second thing we heard from employers, or one of the second things that we've heard from employers, is always be in a good mood. Fake it to make it. So you don't want to bring any, drama from outside or things in your personal life, or, if you walk in with just a bad, and if you're in just a bad mood, you're going to bring others down with you. So you need to make sure that every single day when you walk into that door that you're always in a good mood. And if you have to fake it to make it, then do that. Be a person that people like to be around. You don't want to be that person who's always sad and or always upset, because you're just going to kind of bring others down with you. And honestly, you'll probably end up losing some friends or some colleagues in that process. So always be in a good mood. Fake it to make it. Come to school or work prepared. So what we heard from a lot of employers is coming to work prepared every day, but we want to, challenge you right now as a student to come to school prepared, because that again will transition into the workplace. It shows that you care about your work and the effort that you put into it. A really great quote by Benjamin Franklin: by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I'm sure all of you have heard that before. Let me say it one more time. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So make sure that again, you're working ahead in your classroom. If you guys have live lectures in your class, make sure that you are reading ahead, have really great questions to ask the instructor, and you're really utilizing that time well, so that way you're going to those live lectures prepared, or just working ahead in school, because again, that will transition. You'll build those really great habits now as a student, and those will transition into the workplace. Be informed. So our employers are wanting our students and our graduates to be informed. Know what's going on in the industry, know what's going on with different companies, and once you have that job, know your position really, really well. So you need to make sure you're reading all memos and all information. Today we are just being bombarded with different types of information. So we need to make sure that we're spending sometime throughout your week to sit down and go through those emails, know what's going on, and be informed. When you know what's happening in the industry, what's happening in these different companies and in your position that you have, you will be more confident when speaking to employers, when speaking to your colleagues. So it's really important. Again, this came from our employers. They want our students and our graduates to be informed on what's going on. Absolutely. No gossiping is allowed in the workplace. What that does is it brings others down, it causes drama in the workplace, it takes others away from the task that they should be completing, it takes others away from their work. So, absolutely no gossiping is allowed. I don't think I need to spend any more time on that. So, you guys know that. So, take that to heart. Resolve all personal challenges with the person involved. So this kind of piggybacks off of no gossiping. So instead of getting other people involved, when you have a personal challenge with somebody, don't get others involved. Don't start gossiping, don't start rumors and getting everybody involved in something that is is between you and one other person. Go directly to that person. If you feel like that's just not an option, you either that other person is not mature enough or you just don't think that that's the best thing for you to do, go directly to your supervisor or your manager. Do not get other colleagues involved because it's just starting gossip in the workplace. See the decision maker with any unsolvable problems, so work related. So if you have a problem that you're trying to solve at your desk and you just cannot figure it out, don't go next door to your colleague and take them away from what they're working on and ask them to help you because what it's doing is it's taking them away from their work. Go directly to your manager or your supervisor and ask them for help or ask them for directions. Okay, so again, go directly to your supervisor, your manager for any unsolvable problems. The next thing we want to talk about is remember the golden rule. This is something that we have been taught since we've been preschoolers. So treat others how you would like to be treated. Show others respect and they will show you respect. This might be something that you need to write on a sticky note and have it on your desk to constantly be reminding yourself, but this is something you truly need to focus on. You need to show others respect and just treat others how you would like to be treated. Be knowledgeable, literate, and articulate. So this kind of piggybacks off of being informed. So when you're informed, you're knowledgeable. Articulate just means that you're able to communicate those things to others, which is really important that you're able to do that. So make sure, again, you're just taking time. You need to schedule this in on your calendar. Take time to really educate yourself on the industry and different companies, different positions that are out there. That way you are knowledgeable and you have that confidence. I can't stress that enough that as you spend time researching your industry, researching companies, that will build your self-confidence and just your knowledge level. So being knowledgeable, literate, and articulate, being able to communicate those things to others, and that is something that will really come across in the interview process also. Look the part of an impeccable professional. So, this picture is kind of funny. I'm sure all of you have seen a picture like this, or even this picture at one point floating around social media. It proves a point. So, I don't care what you look like on the weekends or after work, but when you go to work, you need to look professional every single day. So, you need to get into a routine and really put some effort into this. 93% of communication is nonverbal, and a huge chunk of that percentage is the way that you are dressed and presenting yourself as a professional. So you need to make sure that you really think about this. Something that a lot of graduates do, a lot of students do that I've talked to in the past, they get into a routine where they lay out, one or two outfits the night before. That way, when they wake up in the morning, they save themselves some time and they have two options to choose from on what they want to wear that next day. I think that's fantastic. That's actually what I do myself. Otherwise, I would spend way too much time trying to dig through my closet, telling myself there's nothing to wear when I have several different options. So make sure that you get into a routine, you find it, you figure out what works for you, and you stick to it. If you find yourself, if it's a challenge for you to get out the door every morning, then this is something that you need to make part of your routine in the evening, is just laying out a couple different options for you the next morning. But any way you choose to do it, just make sure you look like a professional every single day. Make sure that you spend some time doing your makeup, women, make sure men and women both, spend some time fixing your hair and just looking professional every single day. It's really important. Again, this is something we've heard from a number of different employers, so you need to take a little bit of time and really think about this. Now, how is professionalism judged? Professionalism is judged by your communication, the activity of conveying information. Professionalism is judged by your competence, the quality of being well qualified physically and intellectually. So being able, what your knowledge is. Okay, so that's competence. Your image, the general impression that you present to people in public, what we just talked about, your demeanor, the way a person behaves towards other people. Okay, so those are the 4 key things that are being judged when someone is judging you professionally, those 4 key things. So keep that in mind. Email etiquette. So this is another thing that we heard from employers constantly was talk to your students about proper email etiquette. So I want to really take a few minutes and talk about this with you today. A few things. One, put an appropriate topic in your subject line. So every email you send, you need to have a subject line. Let's say you're emailing me your resume, then you need to put resume in your subject line. So that way I know the second I see an email come across my computer screen, I know that it's about your resume. Make the email personal, so address who you're speaking to. So in the body of the email, you want to put, "Hello, Stephanie." So you want to make sure that you address every person that you're writing in an email. Be sure to always have a message in the body of the email. Even when you're simply sending an attachment, like last week when you worked on your resume, many of you sent your resume to your career service representative or your instructor. Even if you're just sending an attachment, make sure you have a message in the body of that email. So you can simply say, "Hey, Stephanie, I'm attaching my resume. Could you review that really quick and give me back any thoughts or any feedback? Thank you," and sign your first and last name. So make sure with every single email that you send, you always have a message in the body of the email. Avoid emojis, abbreviations, and make sure that your email does not look like a text message. This is really important, and this is just to really shows your professionalism skills. Make sure you really take a second and proofread your emails and make sure they do not come across like text messages. And you can have emojis once you have a relationship with that person, but just avoid all of those things until that relationship is built. Remember that the recipient cannot hear your tone of voice, so don't write in all caps because they're going to read into that and they're going to think that you're yelling at them or that you're upset. This actually happened to me the other day. I received an email and I got it on my phone really quick and I just saw it was all in all caps. So I just called that student. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And nothing was wrong. They just simply had their caps lock on and they wrote the email. And so I just read into that without even fully reading the email. I thought something was wrong. So make sure that you really take a second and think about those things. So don't use, 50 exclamation points because they might read into that incorrectly. Make sure that you use the proper salutation and sign the email with your first and last name. So make sure you sign every email, sincerely, Stephanie Lawrence. Make sure you get in the habit of that, signing every single email that you send. Your career services team, Linda DeWitt, she's the director of career services. She's always available for you guys. There's her email address. Reach us by phone. You can call the school, ask for your career service representative, or ask for the career services team, and one of us will be able to assist you. So when you're on My Course Connection, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about what I talked last week. My Course Connection, hover over My Campus, click on Career Services. So you're on the Career Services page. You're going to see a button that looks like this. So if you click on those icons, you're going to find your career service representative. You're going to find a link to their LinkedIn account and you're going to find a link to their Facebook page. Super easy to connect with them. So make sure you look at that web page again, My Course Connection, hover over My Campus, click on Career Services, and there you're going to see that icon. We want to connect with you. We post a ton of really great stuff on Facebook and on LinkedIn. We put job leads on there. So you always, again, be informative. You want to be informed on what's going on. So connect with your career service representative. Job Journey is also on the career services page. This is a huge PDF PowerPoint full of tons of information. Download that, save it to your desktop. It has a lot of information about what we talked about last week with resume building. It has a lot of stuff with interviewing, cover letters. I mean, everything that you can think of that you'll need professionally to, obtain your first job in your career is there in that job journey. And we just want you to know that it's available for you to look at. You can also share it with your friends and your family members. No big deal. Again, like us on Facebook. So the Career Services page has a Facebook page. So you can simply search Community Care College Career Services to find that, or again, go to My Course Connection, hover over My Campus, click on Career Services. On that Career Services page, that's where you're going to find all this information. So be sure to put that on your list for this week to get done is to connect with the career service representatives at your college. That way you can connect with us on LinkedIn and on Facebook so we can kind of start building that relationship. But I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Again, my name is Stephanie Lawrence. Please let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. I'm here to assist. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.